Ever had that gut feeling the moment you wake up, where you just know your day's about to explode? Yeah, that was me. 6 a.m., still half asleep in my robe, watching steam rise from my coffee, when I noticed something off. My Jeep, gone. Not misplaced, not borrowed. Just vanished. And I didn't need Sherlock Holmes to figure out who was behind it. Dolores Crenshaw, Queen Bee of Maplewood Crossings HOA, had struck. Security footage confirmed it. There she was at 2 a.m., directing a tow truck like a battlefield general. Bolt cutters gleaming, her claw-like nails waving commands, and a smug little violation slip taped to my door. Unauthorized vehicle alterations, Section 14.5a. Signed, Management. You could practically smell the cheap perfume. For those who've tangled with HOA warlords, let me rewind. Name's Marcus Steele, 34, Federal Wildlife Crimes Investigator. Yes, real badge. I track exotic animal smugglers for a living. My latest assignment had me undercover in Maplewood Crossings, Colorado, where every house is copy-pasted for $450,000, lawns manicured to golf course perfection, and even your mailbox shade is regulated. My government-issued Jeep looked like a regular dad mobile unless you spotted the covert antennas, armored bumpers, and surveillance gear built for tracking criminals across state lines. Then there's Dolores, pushing 60, bleach blonde, always seen cruising her spotless BMW X5, a divorcee who transformed her personal bitterness into Maplewood tyranny. Week 1, she gifted me a binder of HOA rules thicker than my college law books. By week 2, I had a notice for intimidating tires. Week 3, she's interrogating me about my irregular hours, apparently oblivious that federal agents don't work 9 to 5. Still, I tried to be diplomatic. Showed up at an HOA meeting with artisan donuts, explained my job. Dolores, seated like a queen at the head of the table, didn't budge. Harold the accountant, Nancy the yoga instructor, and Pete the insurance agent barely registered my presence. Nancy, bless her, was the only one awake. But Dolores's power trip went nuclear at the community barbecue. She tried the overly friendly routine, laying on fake charm thick enough to drown in. I wasn't interested. That rejection must have hit a nerve because suddenly my Jeep became public enemy number 1. What she didn't realize is federal law overrides HOA fantasy rules. My vehicle was protected under federal statutes. But Dolores, she had tunnel vision. Soon, I was being slapped with doctored photos claiming my Jeep overhung the driveway by inches, accompanied by a tape measure stretched by imagination. A staged board meeting resulted in a $200 daily fine. The lone dissenting vote was, unsurprisingly, Nancy. I kept my cool and documented everything, forged evidence, bogus violations, and Dolores's increasingly personal vendetta. Turns out, Dolores's ambitions weren't limited to power trips. A little digging revealed her brother-in-law owned the towing company she contracted. Every vehicle she had towed funneled cash into her pockets. It wasn't enforcement, it was extortion. And I wasn't the only victim. Tom, a Vietnam vet down the block, got hit with a $500 fine over an old fishing boat. The Martinez family received threats over their family RV. Janet, a forensic accountant and neighbor, quietly handed me a folder showing tens of thousands siphoned from HOA accounts. Her crime, non-regulation roses. The more I uncovered, the deeper the rot. Dolores had a suspended real estate license, prior embezzlement charges in Arizona, and zero valid insurance on her management firm. The tipping point came when she broke into my property, snipped through my government lock, and had my Jeep towed to her brother-in-law's lot, charging me $150 daily. For the privilege, she didn't just violate HOA rules, she violated federal law. Could I have had her arrested immediately? Sure, but sometimes patience pays off. Dolores had a history of targeting anyone who defied her, weaponizing petty bylaws, faking violations, and bullying residents into submission. Janet's forensic audit revealed the smoking gun, shell companies, offshore accounts, and a trail of stolen funds leading straight to Dolores's doorstep. My agency, the FBI, and state auditors began circling like hawks. Dolores, sensing the walls closing in, went berserk. She started harassing contractors, doxing neighbors, even hired a bumbling PI to tail me, who was so obvious he might as well have worn a neon sign. Her paranoia peaked when she tried to recast herself as a whistleblower fighting government oppression, a laughable PR stunt that only embarrassed her further. The final nail, she attempted to mortgage HOA property using forged signatures, which the bank instantly flagged. News outlets pounced. Suddenly, Dolores was front-page fodder, her meltdown at the local grocery store caught on camera. She bombarded my agency with 23 unhinged voicemails in a single day, spinning conspiracy theories that would make a sci-fi writer blush. Meanwhile, Janet's audit traced $150,000 in embezzled funds and exposed a pattern of discrimination against veterans, minorities, and anyone Dolores simply didn't like. When the federal indictment dropped, it was pandemonium. Reporters, law enforcement, and neighbors packed the community center. Dolores strutted in, pearls gleaming, flanked by a high-profile defense attorney that screamed, "I'm guilty, but rich." That's when I stood up, flashed my badge, and dropped the bombshell. I'd been undercover the entire time, and Dolores's reign of terror was about to end. Marshals cuffed her on the spot, leading her through a gauntlet of relieved neighbors. Cheers erupted. Mrs. Bennett wept with joy. Frank, the old Marine, gave a crisp salute. Dolores eventually pleaded out, 8 years in federal prison, $380,000 restitution, and a permanent ban from property management. The new HOA board, led by Maria the teacher, Robert the nurse, Frank, and Janet, rewrote the bylaws, opened financial records, and threw a massive block party funded by recovered restitution. They even named the community garden after me, bit embarrassing, but hey, poetic. Today, Maplewood Crossings is thriving. Crime's down, property values are up, and no one's fined over their fishing boat or their grandmother's flowers. Here's the takeaway. HOA tyrants only succeed when good neighbors stay quiet. When we document, stand firm, and push back, even the worst bullies fall. Got your own HOA horror story or a neighborhood justice win? Drop it in the comments. Who knows, next time it could be your story making headlines and your community reclaiming its peace. Remember, in this country, no one is above the law.